Hello, friends and fam. I am here in lovely Mexico, La Paz. Finally made it. I believe the last time that I had spoken to everybody, I had said that I was in the process of moving and about to be moving. I guess my ADHD has gotten the best of me because it is now almost 2 months later, and now I'm coming out with the second podcast. But I promise that moving forward, I'm going to be much more diligent and making sure that I come on here. I have so many nice episodes and content for you guys. Again, with the ADHD, it's just been a little bit hard to navigate. I was really overwhelmed at one point, and then a little bit nervous, and then all up in my feels. And I always think that I have this timeline of things that I can get done at a certain point, and it just never happens to work out that way for me. Anyways, here we are. So when I had left off last, I said that I was going to chat with you guys about some of the Housewives shows, which I still will. I've been keeping up with those. Had to get my VPN, obviously, and use it out here in Mexico when I was traveling, but it's worked. So I'm all caught up with that. But I think what I want to do with this next episode, which would officially be my second episode, is just to kind of keep you guys updated on what's happened in my life since the last time that I saw you guys driving on the highway. Having a little moment for myself. I don't even know where to start. It's been rough, it's been intense. I've had doubt. I question if I'm doing the right thing. Have I done the right thing? Then I start to question everything in my life up until this point. And I just kind of like play back. And I'm sure that happens to a lot of people when you have really big events go on in your life, or you are just evaluating, like self-reflecting. I mean, I'm in my head a lot, so these type of self-reflecting moments are just so, in a way, inspirational for me, to dissect everything and see why I get to where I am. And some people might say that I'm just too much into my feels, like just relax, Nas, just go with the flow. But for me, it's a big thing. I really want to dive deeper into who I am and what causes what I do. And do I see a therapist? Not yet, but that's going to be next on my list of things to do. Maybe even just once a week. And not because I'm extremely traumatized or I have issues that I need help resolving, but just someone to bounce back ideas off of that can give me a more, I would say, objective sort of perspective, and just play a little bit of devil's advocate. In terms of me reflecting on my own, I've sort of made it a big mission of myself to always try to understand where I come from when I do the things that I do, or when I feel certain feelings, why am I feeling them? And for the most part, I'd say that I've done a pretty good job of narrowing it down, but I still have moments of impulsivity where I cannot control how I act, how I react. And I think that's just me. Like, that's just part of being me. And as I get older, I realize that I've done so much, but I still look at what can be done, and I sometimes forget of how far I've come. And I really need to go back and reflect and give myself some grace, because I have come so far. And I think moving forward, that's something that I want to start jotting down every time a memory or something that comes to me that I've done and succeeded in, or done and failed, but then kept going. I want to just write down so that I have this sort of like memoir or a journal, I guess you could say, of things that I have succeeded at, or even failed at, but kept going and eventually succeeded, or did not give up in, because sometimes I tend to forget that. I tend to look at just the things that are not done yet, and I'm like, oh my God, I have so much more to go. But even like looking back, like overcoming addiction and being a single mom, and I don't even know how I made it. Like I'm still wanting to develop my own career, and like how I made it up until this point where I still have like a healthy kid, and I've raised 2 dogs, and like I haven't killed any of them. It's sort of impressive, But that's another thing. I don't think I'm ever short of love. I think the reason that I hurt so much and that I care so much is because that hurt is equal to the love that I give. So That's why I feel so much more deeply, and I don't think that that's a negative thing. I'm starting to learn to love that about myself. But there's still other things that I sort of want to tune into and just kind of work on. And it's always going to be a work in progress. And, I'm a bodybuilder. So with that being said, it's always progress over perfection, or you can never be perfect. I've learned that. But shit, I want to get down close. No. But it's always like the progress towards it and the journey of it. Even reflecting on like coming out here to Mexico, like for so long I was so excited, and I still am, don't get me wrong, it's so great, but I'm the type of person, again, with the ADHD, that if I plan too long, or if I just keep going and thinking, okay, I'm going to do this, then I just stay in the planning and I never actually get to do it. So when it came to actually this trip, I was already 2 years behind. I had said that I wanted to leave last year, and I kind of wish I had, but everything happens for a reason, and we'll just end up seeing what that reason is about. I also left a month too late. I was supposed to leave September 4th, ended up literally leaving October 4th. I was like, if I don't go now, I'm not going to make it. And it was kind of like a whirlwind. Like my room still hadn't been packed up completely. Everything that I thought that I would be able to fit in my vehicle, more than half did not fit. I came with barely any money compared to last year when I had tons of money to come. It's easy to see what can happen within a year. And just to go for it. My motto has always been like, just go for it, and then you can ask for the forgiveness or figure it out later. Because if I don't, 2 years would have turned to 3 years. 3 years would have turned to 4 years. And who knows if I'd ever make it. I'd just be planning, one day when I get there. And I don't want to live in the what ifs. I just want to go. And one thing I've learned about in life, and I even wrote this in my blog, and if you haven't checked out my blog, www.thepursuitofhappinessnoz.com, I wrote that no matter how much you can plan for something, and I should know this by now, I just turned 41. No matter how much you plan for something, it just never works out the way that you plan. To be honest, it's usually always even better, But sometimes there's hiccups, and there's things that you sort of have to overcome along the way, and there's bumps and potholes and valleys and mountains that you have to kind of go through to get to where you need to be. But with that being said, and I'm sort of jumping a little bit ahead, when you do get what you want, for example, us getting a place out here was a disaster. But when we finally got a place, we were so grateful and we were so happy, and we being my daughter and I. And it's just such a good feeling to know that you've done it all, and you've done it all on your own, and the struggle that you had to go through to get there. And then it gives you a little bit more boost of confidence, and then it's just onwards and upwards from there, right? So it's been tough, but I made it. I'm here. My daughter's here. We finally ended up getting a place. We did have a mishap with our accommodations. Silly me, I trusted somebody that I don't really know him to that extent either, but did say that he would help me with accommodations, but was upset when I had said that I had just left and that I just showed up. Like literally I was 2 days away from being here, considering that we drove down from Vancouver. So it took us almost a week because we had to stop, sleep, eat, grab the dog, stretch our legs. He was almost like mad at me, and I get it. It was so last minute. And maybe it's a cultural thing, like in Persian culture, if someone calls you and they're like, yo, I'm 2 days away and I really haven't slept, I just need to shower. Like, you said that you had a place available, is that still available? I would do anything under the sun to make sure that by the time they get here, it would be available for them. But that's where I sort of have to not be so resentful and realize that not everyone is like me and is going to act like me. But what I do and what I won't stop doing is take that and put it at the back of my head. And I'll always remember that. Should I be pitiful and say that, okay, great, so next time this person requires help, I won't help them, even if they're bleeding on the side of the road? I don't know. because I am the type of person that, like, I just mind my own business, but then when there's a fatality or an accident or I witness something, I'm the first one to get out and help people, even though I don't really have, like, I'm not a doctor. I just know, like, my CPR stuff and, like, until the ambulance arrives type things. But I'm the first one to jump out of the car and help someone that's been in a car accident. I'm the first one to go up to somebody who's just fallen and be like, are you okay? It's when I see people in the physical pain, it's easier to help, I find, because there's such a protocol to go through when someone is physically hurt. It's almost like there's a rule book to it. There's steps that you have to follow. But the mental pain, when I hear people fighting, and I just tune that out. I can't be a therapist, but I could be a paramedic / doctor should I need to be. That's how I can help. And I find people are a lot opposite. I don't find a lot of people jumping in when there's car accident. I was in a car accident. No one came to see if we were okay. Mind you, the police were right there, so maybe they assumed that because the police were there, we'd be fine. But not one, are you okay? Do you need anything? But if people over here, boyfriend and girlfriend fighting, and it's domestic, they're the first to step into something like that. Which I'm fantastic, because I wouldn't, you know what I mean? It's just because I've been there myself. I've been that girl that's been fighting with the boyfriend on the street, and I know that no matter how much we step in, tomorrow I would have gone back to him anyway. So sometimes I'm not as sympathetic. Like, I'm like, oh, I know what they're going through. I can feel compassion, but I find that those things take time to heal, and it's not just someone stepping in, or it could be someone stepping in, a stranger. For me, it wasn't, so maybe I'm just basing it on my own perspective and opinion. But when it comes to someone, being in an accident or drowning, because once I helped give CPR to a gentleman that had drowned when we had gone river rafting, and that's another story for another day. But of all the 50 people on the river rafting tour, I was one of the only 3 that stepped in to give him CPR. I held his mouth open. I was trying to hold his tongue back. The water was coming up. And people just stood there frozen. So I get it. I freeze up in the opposite way when it's a mental thing, when it's a emotional thing. That's my freezing up. That's when I just freeze and I'm like, I don't know what to do, and I just tune it out. I don't know how I can help in this situation. But another thing that I do want to do to give help is to come on a platform such as this, or even my blog, and just share my experiences with people, because that's the way that I can help emotionally, mentally. If someone can just take what I've gone through and have it resonate with them, then I feel so blessed and grateful. But anyways, I digress. So back to the gentleman who had almost gotten upset with me, So now he's saying that his place, well, first he said, okay, I'm going to need a couple days to set it up. So, me and my daughter were sleeping in the car already anyways. We're on a budget. I have an SUV, so okay. Then the next day his tone changes, and it's like, okay, well, maybe you're going to need to stay at this Airbnb for another couple days, because he had actually sent us a hookup of someone with an Airbnb and gave it to us for really dirt cheap. So one night turned into 2 nights, turned into 3 nights, and finally I'd had it. I was just like, listen, if it's not available, just tell us, because we can't keep doing this. Like, we can go on our merry little way and figure something out for ourselves. Like, and that is why I hate asking people for help, because I feel like they just hook you like that, and then now your destiny depends on them. And I'll be damned if I ever let somebody do that to me, ever. I've had it happen to me plenty of times in the past, but never ever again, especially when I have a kid and a dog with me. They deserve a little bit better. Actually, they deserve way better. So what ended up happening is I'm upset. So I just ceased communication with him. And my daughter and I came to another town, actually, the town that I fell in love with when I came almost two years ago. That I've always had the temperature, like, how in your temperature app in the iPhone you can see all the different temperatures of the places. Everywhere that I've visited, I've had the temperature of that place. I was like, I wonder what it's like there. I wonder, So we actually went from Cabo, and now we're in La Paz, and we got here on the 10th of October, and we literally slept in our car until the 20th. We had a couple nights where I would get paid from back home, my job, and I would just send some money over to the Airbnb guy. We became sort of friends, made a connection, and take our showers, straighten our hairs, sleep on a comfortable bed. We even had bought a tent, and it was so nice. We only ended up doing that for one night because we ended up getting a place after, but we literally slept right at the foot of the ocean. And when I post the video, it's dreamy, but it was tough. I didn't know if I was going to make it. I was seriously going into a psychosis. I was just angry, and I was just so mad at the world. How could nobody help us right now? But then I thought about it, and I'm like, part of the reason that I chose to come to Mexico was to do everything on my own, build again from the bottom up, because I'd made some bad financial decisions. I think I've always made bad financial decisions, but this past year I really made some bad ones and lost everything that I had made, money-wise. I have lots of things in storage. I could put a house together with all the furniture that I have in storage that are still in boxes that I had ordered from Amazon, but where I lived, I just couldn't do it anymore. I would just fall into a depression. The weather, the people. I am sober and clean, and where I got sick, as they say, with the disease of addiction, where I got sick, did happen to be in Vancouver, and I'd gotten to a point where I was like, I need to leave the city because it just keeps me sick. If I'm not in addiction, I'm in some sort of mental health crisis, not just mental health state. I know we go through our days where we have our days and moments of the mental health, but I was in crisis mode. I could not get out of bed, depressed, so much cortisol that I couldn't even lose weight at some point, I take ADHD medication, and some days just to function, I had to double the amount that I needed for the day just to get out of bed. That's how bad it was. Whereas I get here and I still have so much of my ADHD medication left, and when I do take it, I feel so wired. I almost feel like I have to take less doses, cut it in half while I'm here. Could be the sun, could be just the change of environment, which is what I had suspected from the beginning. Again, lots of guilt leaving my family. I was like, did I do the right thing? Should I have stayed at home? I know lots of people that sacrifice their lives to stay at home because they want to make sure that they're there for their family. My dad's old. Me and my daughters had stayed with my dad for the past few months. I know that he's a bit sad that we've left, but either I stay there and I stay sick, and just like that analogy on the airplane, when you gotta give yourself the air mask first before you can give it to somebody else, you gotta make sure you're good first before you can help other people. I didn't know if even staying to help my family, I would be in the best condition, or I'd be the best person at the mental health or mental state that I was in while I was there. So it's either live with the regret of leaving them, but starting a life over and from scratch and building from the ground up, which I do love doing as part of my ADHD brain. It gives me a challenge. Also teaching my daughter that never give up, and right when you're feeling hopeless, and because I had feelings of hopelessness, and then I would have to muster it up and be like, you know what? I swear something's going to happen tomorrow that's going to change everything. And usually it does, right? Because it's right at that feeling when you just want to give up and you're like, you know what? I'm going home. We're not doing this anymore. It's the moment where everything sort of falls into place. It's funny how that works, I've had to tap into God a lot, just praying, oh Heavenly Father, please, just whatever I need to do, just show me, just tell me. On the highway, I'd be like, should I just turn back? Should I keep doing this? And I swear he would talk to me and he'd be like, follow your heart. If your heart wants to turn around, you turn around. If your heart wants to keep going, but either way, I will be with you. So, I don't want to live with regret, although I probably will. in a sense of not being close to my parents, my family, my brother. More particular, my dad, but me and my daughter had carved out this plan that we're going to build such a nice life here, and then we can bring my dad here, and hopefully his quality of life will improve a little bit too, because I know the weather does get everyone that I've spoken to back home is just completely over the weather. And that's what happens when you live in the rainforest and it like rains literally 10 months out of the year. I think May, June, July, and August are the best. We definitely are planning on going back for summer. It's some of the best months there. And the views and just the landscape and the scenery and the things to do definitely makes it worth it to have rain for that long. But I just personally could not handle it. I know a lot of people can. For me, I wasn't the best version of myself. And maybe it's an excuse, but I've dug deep and I've tried to figure it out. I feel really hopeless when it's constantly dark and gloomy, and I need the sun. And I'm allowed to want the sun. I'm not saying it's curing me, but it's definitely helping. So if I know that about myself, why wouldn't I follow that? I had moments where I just was like, we're turning around, we're going back, and then I would just be so pissed off at myself that I even thought that, because I felt like I had tried everything and nothing was working. Mind you, we'd only been here like less than 10, we're only literally been here like, now you could say almost 2 weeks. Tomorrow, just 24th today, it's Thursday the 24th, so it's going to be 2 weeks. We've been in Mexico, and it's like, have I really tried everything that I needed to do to stay? Because if I have and it's still failing, it's okay to go back home. There'll always be a place for us back home. But would I regret it because I really didn't try? Is it just another one of Naz's things where she's just not trying? And she says that she has, and the laziness and the ADHD, whatever you want to call it, has just seeped in. So I had to have these pep talks with myself every single day. It's like going to the gym or getting your steps in or your sobriety. It's like every single morning is a brand new day. Your body doesn't say, oh, well, she's gotten 10,000 steps in for the week, so we're done. No. You sleep, your body resets. It doesn't care if it's a Monday or a Tuesday or a Wednesday or it's the beginning of the month, or after you wake up from sleep, you get up and you have to remind yourself, okay, first of all, I had a lot of grateful moments, and I think my daughter knew, because I would turn on the music and we just blast and sing on the highway, and it was like such feelings of gratefulness, like, oh my God, like, we're here, we did it, you know? And not a lot of people can say that they've driven all the way from, I mean, there's so much just stories out there about countries, other countries besides Canada and the US, you know, about them being poor and drugs and cartel and gangs, and I mean, but even back home we have the same issue, you know? So because of the fact that people are so scared, not a lot of people have that opportunity to drive from Vancouver all the way to Mexico, and me and my daughter did it, and we didn't go the typical I-5 through the states. We went through like just, you know, the mountains of Utah and Nevada and the deserts, and that's exactly what I wanted to do. And to see the landscape change and the people change and those feelings of gratefulness, I was like, when I felt them, I wanted to just be in them and be present in them, because like sometimes when you're going through tough times, it's so hard to feel those moments again. So I just want to remind myself, just like when I got sober, I always remind myself of the last time that I had drank and just partied all night long, and I was like, I never want to feel that again. So I want to remember those moments. This is why I came, to feel this gratefulness, this freedom, that I did it, you know? But I also have to remind myself, like, you need to do some work. It's just not all fun and games. Like, you came here to work, so it's time to get the work in. So every day my muscle that I flexed of being in Mexico got stronger and stronger, and I kept working on it and just kept going on Marketplace and we just stayed in La Paz, the city that I really fell in love with back when I had come to Cabo the first time, and me and my daughter had rented a vehicle and we'd just driven all through the south. And I was like, you know what, I like the city better. I can just feel the energy here so much better. So after countless of reaching out to people, and mind you, we're also on a budget, reaching out to a lot of owners and renters, we saw a place, and the gentleman was nice enough to give it to us, so we did it. And I'm so grateful. I mean, it's not the newest place, and kind of reminds me of when I was in Australia. I lived in Australia for 7 weeks, and the flats there kind of similar. But we have a roof over our heads, and we have running water, we have air conditioning, and we have Wi-Fi, and that's really all we need. The rent is great. It's almost 3 times less than what I paid in Vancouver, almost 4 times, to be honest, 4 times less. I was paying almost $3,000 a month for rent in downtown Vancouver, and this is 4 times less. And I'm going to promise myself that I'm going to learn to budget, and that I'm going to just make sure that I do this the right way from everything that I've learned, all the experiences that I've had, and everything that I've learned. But it's been tough, it's been emotional. I didn't even think that I could do it, and I did. Like, I had it, I knew that I could do it, but then surface level, I was like, am I going to really be able to do this? Like, I have so much ego to go back and be like, I failed again. But at least if I failed, I want to make sure that I knew deep down that I actually couldn't do it. Like, I did everything in my power and nothing worked. And then I could easily say, okay, yeah, it didn't work out for us. But I just knew that I hadn't done everything and I hadn't tried everything. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful that I pushed through, and it's just another testament to just myself, you know, that I can do it. And am I living in a lap of luxury right now? No, I'm not. But I'm at peace, and it's my place that I'm renting, and no one is dangling a carrot in front of me saying that you owe me this because I did this for you. And I'm not waiting around for someone to tell me that his place is ready or his place is not ready. I've also learned how to deal with people moving forward. I'm not going to change who I am. I'm always going to be nice and offer things to people when they need them, but I know who to offer that hand to and who not to. So you just learn things about yourself, and you learn things about the people around you when you're put in these tough situations. And I'm also, again, grateful for the experience, and grateful that I did it, and grateful that I'm sticking to it. I mean, it's only been 2 weeks. We have yet to get to some hard, trivial times, but I'm just here and grateful that, again, with the roof over my head, and at least my problems are in 33°C sun. Okay? They're not in the dark and whatnot. So I'll keep you guys posted with the stories with that, and I'll be posting a lot of vlogs on my YouTube channel. So if you guys don't follow, it's www.youtube.com// and then at Noz Kazemi, so NOZKAZEMI. I'll definitely do a Housewives. I'm definitely going to be doing recaps because that's all I watch. I keep up with my Housewives. I keep up with my Bravo. I'll also do some recaps probably on Secret Lives. I'll get my daughter on here as well. She really wants to, or maybe I want her more, so to do a recap of some of the shows with me. She loves the Secret Lives more than wife, so maybe I'll get her to do some recapping of that with me, because that's another thing that I enjoy. I also want to do another episode a week. I want to come on here a lot more often than I have been. Anything is more than I have been, because I only did one. But do some fitness related stuff as well, since that's kind of like my niche and where I'm building my career around. I am offering some coaching programs online, so if anyone sees this, please reach out to me either through any of my social media platforms, which should be in my YouTube and my webpage. And that webpage again is www.thepursuitofhappinessnoz.com. I'll put it at the bottom of the screen as well, so you guys can see that. But reach out to me. I'm opening it up. So, I mean, I can't do a lot of coaching, and it's going to be more lifestyle coaching, but I will definitely want to spread my knowledge now that I feel like I'm a seasoned vet in it. It's no contest prep, no get quick, lose 10 pounds. I have a wedding to go to in 4 weeks type things. I'm sorry, I can't do that. If you need that, that's going to be somebody else, and you're going to have to do your own research on that, on who to pick. I don't really have recommendations at this point, and nor do I kind of agree with that style of, not that I don't fall into it, but I don't agree with that style of coaching. Not if you're trying to build habits, healthy habits for people. It's definitely not the way to go. It's actually trying to break out of those habits that I'm trying to want to teach people my ways. And with that being said, I'm not a dietitian, so it's not going to be a meal plan. If you need a meal plan, please seek out a licensed dietitian. If you want a specific training plan, that would have to be with a personal trainer or an online certified coach. I do have personal training. I will be helping with diet and training exercises in the gym or at home, but that's not the focal point of the program that I'm going to be offering. It's more just to get everyone building habits that you can sustain and that are realistic, and things that you can maintain throughout the rest of your lives, and just kind of keeping you aware and focused and more self-aware on things that maybe could be holding you back from your ultimate goal. It is a 6-month long program. So if you're interested in that, please reach out to me. I would love to help you with that. I do have limited spaces because I'm working on other projects with my own career, but this is something that I've sort of always wanted to do, spread my knowledge, and I really want to do it to the people that need it the most. And there's been plenty that have asked me. I've reached out to them. Some have declined, some have jumped on. So just waiting for the first of the month to start, and then we'll take that on. And if I still have spaces available, I will make that known so that if anyone's still interested, I can get you onboarded right away and we can go. So by next year for summer, you are mentally, physically, spiritually in a better place than, let's say, you are now. With that being said, I am going to sign off. I just kind of want to come and keep in touch. I have not disappeared. I'm so sorry for the inconsistencies in these pods. I will be more consistent, I promise. Also on my website, if you go to, again, www.thepursuitofhappiness.com, you will see under the podcast section, there's a heading called podcast. If you click on it and you scroll down, there is a place that you can leave voice messages for me. So sometimes I'm going to have prompts, or sometimes I'm just going to ask questions and see kind of what the general consensus is. But I think what I'm going to prompt this time, and we'll probably have it until my lifestyle coaching program starts, is what is one goal that you've really wanted to attain but you haven't been able to? And I think what I might do is gift someone a coaching plan alongside with have some other spaces available that people can purchase. But if I do have people that are leaving some messages and I can kind of hear what the struggle is and whatnot, I will have someone help me pick a winner, and that person will be gifted with a 6-month lifestyle training program from myself. So get on there, please. Spread the word. Thank you again. I just can't help but say sorry that it hasn't been consistent, but moving forward it's going to be so consistent and kind of all over the place because, that's the way my brain works, so why not? I will be back in a couple days with some Housewives updates and I guess some headline updates because there's just so much juicy stuff happening in the news right now. I don't really follow the news, but the Housewives always got some juicy stuff going on, And if you also have any fitness questions, please feel free to leave a voice mail or just email me. I also have an Instagram page for my blog. which will eventually also be for the podcast, and it's the Pursuit of Happiness Naz, or at the Pursuit of Happiness Naz. So if you want to DM me through there, or just through Naz Kazemi, my regular Instagram profile, with any questions that you have fitness related, I'd be happy to answer those too. I do have a Q&A pod coming up, and it's just more like lifestyle questions. How do you overcome adversity? And I'm a single mom, etc., etc. So any fitness related questions I can throw in there, please feel free to add them. With that being said, I am signing off, you guys. Thank you so much for still hanging in there. Keep me accountable. Get at me when you don't hear from me, okay? And we shall keep in touch. So have a good night.